Every so often, a piece of tech comes along that completely changes the game. And this is Cooler Master, because they are not playing fair. Good afternoon, welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece warranty Wooks Triple XL. And if you know me, I've been a Cooler Master fan for a very, very long time. And products like this is exactly why. This GA2711 is now an IPS 2K 100Hz panel for a whole 3,500 Rand on Uncle Evetech. I don't even know how they've gotten to that price point with the income tax, or the import tax from Uncle ANC being in the 35% category. Thanks ANC for nothing once again. But this, thank you Cooler Master for everything, because you've beaten the evil empire and somehow delivered something that's kind of unreal. It's very simple and straightforward in its frame and its build, as you can see by the non-periscope neck as an example, with just a bit of tilt. But at the price point, I'm not exactly mad. You can buy a desk clamp, and use the base mount on the back with it, and then you've got like one of the best bang for buck panels you could possibly hope to buy. Now in the package for this sucker, it's, like I said, it's very simple and straightforward. They do give you a kettle plug, a proper one with a 3-pin African connector, which is very nice, and then an HDMI cable along with that, along with your obligatory manuals and setup stuff. It's very simple and straightforward. If we look around the back, the base stand itself has a little screw into the actual neck that sits there, and then it just slides in the back. There's a little release catch above that so that you can take it out if you do need to repackage it and move it. And that's it. That's the whole flipping monitor pretty much. Top left, you've got a Cooler Master logo. Underneath that, you've got the joystick, which does light up, and it does change color depending on if it's off or on. Not that you can see that, but it is there. It's kind of a nice touch. And I'm glad that they went for the joystick type of setup, because if we look at the OSD, more of the same, simple and straightforward. It doesn't have a huge amount of features. One of the ones that are in there that it's got MPRT mode, so which strobes the backlight along with the refresh rate of the monitor, which does help honestly with like VA panels more so than you'll need it with the IPS. The override is just how fast the response time is. Your best response time on this is 4 milliseconds, which is perfect because it's 100 Hz refresh rate that you're going to get from this, did I mention, 2K IPS panel. The color reproduction on this is pretty damn good. It is a little bit warm, so I found that 65% brightness, 65% contrast with a cool color temperature actually gave me the flattest sort of profile, and I was even comfortable enough to edit a video off of it. But for those of you watching this, I doubt that's going to be your primary goal. If it is, it's a good panel for that, honestly. You can do quite a lot of tuning. It's got a variance of color spaces, including sRGB as well. So you're going to be able to tune it to get the color space that you want, honestly. You'd still probably need a color monkey or something like that to get it balanced 100%. But for gaming, which is probably going to be your focus, the 100 Hz refresh rate with adaptive sync, so you can use it with G-Sync or with the AMD adaptive sync technologies and FreeSync stuff, is pretty damn good. 100 Hz is a little bit on the lower end, like of a professional type of environment. There is going to be a noticeable difference between this and a 144 Hz panel, and I use a 240 Hz. So going back to 100 Hz, it was quite noticeable. However, when I played games, and mostly I've been playing Tarkov, Arena, and I played some Doom on it, the color accuracy and with a little bit of saturation in ye olde NVIDIA control panel, it makes things pop oh so nicely. To play games like Dota on this, sublime. The extra pixels and pixel density of 2K on a 27-inch is very, very welcome, especially with that IPS. IPS naturally has a better response time than VA. It's not going to smear the way VA does, and so them making the second generation of this with IPS, it was already competitive on its previous spec with VA. Now, it's practically untouchable. The only other monitors in this price bracket are 1080p's, not 1440p's. If you're going to play AAA games like Wukong, as an example, like 70 FPS, if your GPU can get there, with a game like Wukong, there's a bit of a bully beat down of a game right now. Very nice for benchmarking, however. But if you're going to play games like that on like a high setting sort of thing, it looks absolutely fantastic. Cyberpunk as well, with all of the RT features going, looks absolutely incredible 3070 Ti and a 13600K on the test bench. If you're wondering, that's why I can actually get those kinds of frame rates thanks to DLSS. They couldn't run it without that. But the panel itself, exceptional, and that's really the draw over here. If you look at the ports as an example, there's just two HDMIs with a display port. There is a 3.5mm jack with a pass-through, and you can change the volume from the screen as well, which is a nice to have, but it's nothing to write home about. And you can see the VESA mount on the back so that you can mount it on a boom arm. It's really good bang for buck. If you were looking at this for like a design panel, because it's got that sRGB mode, you could do that. And you could balance your colors on your screen versus your CMYK, like I said, with something like a Color Monkey, and it's gonna work exceptionally well. As a gaming panel, this is the best bang for buck 2K gaming experience. You gotta spend twice as much as this to basically get 65 Hz refresh rate. Is there a difference? Of course there is. 1 millisecond response time, 165 Hz. It's going to be noticeably crisper and sharper where movement is concerned. Albeit this does have adaptive sync, and when you're playing those very demanding games that aren't even getting to 100 FPS, then it's going to be absolutely sublime for that. I flippin' love it. I think it is, I'm glad, well, here's my feeling. I'm kind of glad that they went for a simple stand. I haven't used something without a periscope neck in a long time, and after a little while it became very comfortable and I started absolutely smashing oaks in arena. So there was no problems with performance, the input delay and stuff. It was noticeable at first, but I acclimatized to it honestly, and yeah, it's not going to compare to a 240 Hz at 1080p where you're getting like 280 frames like in a Counter-Strike or something like that. But for media, for playback on it, fantastic. Gaming, absolutely exceptional. Really easy to tune. Enough built-in features that you can be able to get the color and reproduction that you want. And did I mention it's 3,500 Rand with a 3-year warranty? That's the part that's kind of unbelievable, that they've created a 2K panel at this price and somehow gotten it past all the horrific tax that we face here in South Africa. So, South Africans, if you're watching this, this is pretty much the best bang for buck panel around. And if you've been looking at it on Uncle Evetech and it's in your price bracket, look no further. If you want something a bit more serious, look at a dull IPS at 165 Hz, but that's going to be twice the price. I honestly would rather have two of these than grab one of those. That's just my feeling. Well, because I've also got a 240 Hz already. So, but if it's going to be your primary monitor and 3,500 Rand tickles your fancy, it comes highly recommended, is the TLDR. Anywho, that's all I have for you on the Cooler Master GA2711. If you have enjoyed this review, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.